This is not a typical story of a woman's life after retirement. There is no reminiscence of time lost, no whiling away days in idleness, and no longing for children to take special care of her. Nasti Rexodiputro retired from a lifetime career in education 14 years ago, only to begin another. Nasti Rexodiputro was teaching English literature in the University of Indonesia in 1995. Then she observed that there was a dearth of suitable children's books in Indonesia's public libraries. When she retired the following year, she wanted to share her love of reading with the children instead of spending the remains of her days in aimless contentment. To realize that dream, she mooted the concept of a mobile library called Yayasan Pustaka Kelana, which means Wandering Books Foundation in English.
So I thought I would choose good material for children to read and offer that to them. But then the question was, where should I offer these books to them? Also, I thought if I put the library in a certain location, only children around that area would be able to make use of the library. So I talked about this to my friends, and we decided to have a mobile library that could go to places.
Nasti received generous donations to kickstart her mobile library for children. 2,500 books came from the British Council in Indonesia, and a group of Indonesians who studied in Germany gave her the Bookmobile, a van to transport the books.
The mobile libraries that are available in Indonesia usually have their books inside the van. So we thought of using another concept. Bring the books to the children in boxes and then put the boxes on the mats so that the children could choose their own books and read there.
Once a week, the Bookmobile visits 5 public schools, like this one, all over Jakarta. The children hungrily devour fiction and non-fiction books of various genres for 3 precious hours each week. Most public schools do not have libraries, so the mobile library is a godsend to these students. And the foundation fills an unspoken void because the education system does not encourage students to read for leisure. In the classroom of a typical public school in Jakarta, the only reading materials are textbooks, which are passed down from student to student year after year. This is Utan Panjang, a slum in East Jakarta. Once school is over, the children here will gather on the streets to play. Homework is a distant thought, while leisure reading hardly crosses their minds. But this routine will be disrupted once the Bookmobile rolls up every week. And the kids will willingly ditch their toys for books.
Oh, when I see kids rushing for books, I'm very happy because I think that what I'm doing is useful for them and it makes them happy too. And they seem to like the activities that the library provides. Probably what keeps me going is my interest in or my desire to get children to read, because I compare myself to the present-day children, and they don't seem to enjoy reading as much as I did in the past.
Besides the bookmobile, the Wandering Books Foundation also provides a stationary reading room. Housed permanently in a single-story building, the reading room is open to children in the neighborhood. Some of them actually walk as far as 1 kilometer to get to this library that stocks up to 10,000 books. The woman behind the foundation, former teacher Nasti Rexodiputro, places great value on spreading literacy. But she also realizes that book knowledge alone is not enough for children to get ahead in life.
So I encourage my staff to help the children to get good habits and not only read. So when they come in, we have them put their shoes in a regular place and also encourage cleanliness, no eating, no drinking in the library, wash your hands before you touch books, things like that. We also teach them a sense of responsibility by having them pay a fee to become a member of the library, even though this fee is very small.
Many of the parents here are so poor that sending their children to school is a problem, let alone paying for library membership. 10-year-old Salia Lubis would have been in the 4th grade now if fate had been kinder to her. Unfortunately, like 900,000 other children in Indonesia, her mother could not afford to send her to school, so she stays home, wasting her growing years. When Nasti heard of her plight, she immediately extended a helping hand to Salia's mother.
Yellow. What color is this? So I said, why don't you take her to the library? If you bring her to the library, she can come whenever she wants to. She can read. We can help her with math and social sciences and planning to support to be able to go to school. But her mother hasn't decided yet whether she wants to stay or move back to Medan. For the time being, Pustaka Kelana is her school. Many children in Jakarta need help, but not everybody is so lucky to be able to get a sponsor. I only help those who I think are worth helping because they are eager to learn, but their parents cannot support them. So I help them as much as I can.
Coming from a family with 3 generations of teachers, Nasti was brought up to appreciate the value of education and a love for reading, which is why she doesn't think twice about digging into her own pockets to fund a child's education. To her, it is an atrocity that the privileged do not give aid to those who need it most.
I see it as a crime for people who are educated not to have interest in improving the education of those who have not had a chance to develop their own education. Maybe I'm a bit harsh in saying that, but well, I believe that people should help each other, and people who are educated have a lot to give, even though they don't always realize that.
Nasti has big dreams for the Wandering Books Foundation. Among them is her plan to develop more programs such as computer literacy for the children. She also hopes to expand the reading room so that there is space for more books. But all these can only remain as dreams as long as she's unable to overcome her biggest challenge, the lack of funds. In fact, resources are so tight that staff members like Mardi Sanjaya has to double up as a driver and storyteller. But he's not complaining.
Sepeda. Kalau ini bisa menggiling sampai ke Ami, sampai ke temannya. Harapan ke depan saya, anak yang kita kunjungi lokasi itu bisa baca, terus tambah kunjungan lokasinya bertambah, dan menumbuhkan minat baca anak-anak tersebut.
Judging from the children's enthusiasm, the mobile library has proven to be successful and effective.
Kenapa saya suka membaca? Karena saya ingin menjadi anak yang pandai dan meraih cita-cita saya menjadi seorang dokter.
Membantu banyak pengetahuan itu belajar. Karena membaca saya dapat mendapatkan ranking.
Illiteracy keeps a child in the dark, cripples his growth, and shrinks his world. And to the thousands of children in Indonesia's impoverished communities, Nasti is like a firefly that has brought light to their lives through her mobile library initiative.
Children who are educated and have intellectual interest are like small lights in their community. A firefly is a small insect that gives out light in the dark, and educated children are like fireflies in their community.